Hello, everybody. Dr. Noelle Crosby here. And this is the Sound Sisters, the Hearing Diaries. Lindsay is not able to be here today because she is out campaigning for her dad. So she will be editing this video, but she will not be interviewing with me. So again, we are welcoming back Elly Pourasef. And we're having her come back because the last time we lost the recording and she had so much great stuff to say. So we're going to pick right up where we had left off, and she's going to talk to us about her TikTok growth and how that happened in her office, and she's going to give you some suggestions for that. So welcome back, Elly.
You. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's go back to the moment where, what made you decide, oh, I think I'll post a video on TikTok, and kind of just talk about how that whole growth happened with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been obsessed with social media since before it was called social media. I am 47 years old. Today's my birthday. I
Yeah,
just
and
turned
today's
40.
her birthday too. I should
Yeah.
have said that.
So
Happy
yeah, I
birthday,
just turned
Elly.
47 today. So that
47.
being said, it was like the mid 90s. And, I had an AOL homepage. And then I had Friendster and Zanga and
I don't
MySpace
even
and
know
now,
some of those.
Facebook, Instagram, of course, it just keeps revolving. So obviously TikTok was the next thing. And this whole thing started when TikTok got really big, or I guess it used to be called like Soundly or something like that. But
Oh,
anyway,
it
or
did? I didn't
Musically. It
know
was called
that.
Musically. That's what it was. But
What
anyway,
was what was it called?
I think Musically or LY, something like that.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
have it, but I got TikTok when around COVID, when most people got TikTok, when most people who didn't have
Yeah,
that before got it. So it was normal for me to post things. The unnatural part of it was to post patients, because obviously we're in a medical environment and there's
right.
HIPAA laws. So I never really even thought to do it. I really just didn't. But I had a friend that I personally knew from high school, and even though I hadn't seen her in years, she came in as a patient and she asked if we could film her getting her ear impressions because she's a singer. And that was 6 years ago. And so I said, yeah, we can film it. Do you mind if I have a copy of it? She's like, yeah, no problem. So I uploaded that, and I think it was honestly the first time that I know of that the impression, that pink gooey ear impression material, was ever filmed. I don't think I ever saw anybody doing that prior
Yeah,
to
I don't
me
think I did
uploading that,
that many years
honestly.
ago. Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I don't remember ever seeing impressions filmed before that. So that was actually my first, like it hit like 3 million views, I want to say, like in a few days.
Taking
So
the
that
impressions. Oh,
taking
wow.
impressions over years, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was really, really cool. So after that, I just kind of was like, well, I want to do this again. So that's when it gave me that courage to like ask another patient, hey, can we film you? And of course, we come up with this waiver. So I think social media is very important in many aspects of healthcare. I personally know a plastic surgeon who complained to me that his classmate charged, over $200,000 for a facelift, that he feels like he gives the same quality of care. They went to school together. He thinks he has the same talents as this guy, and he's saying he's only, charging 10% of that. So, while one surgeon's making 250,000 on a facelift, the other one's making
Wow.
$25,000 facelift. And I said, I even know who you're talking about. I knew exactly who he was talking about. This guy has probably 500,000 followers on Instagram. He's famous. He's like a celebrity facelift guy. And I told, my friend slash guy who used to do my Botox, I told him, like, you don't even have an Instagram account. Like, so that's
Yeah.
the problem. Like, there's people at this point, this generation is not even going to step into your office if you don't have something on social media to show your portfolio. We're not going to come in and then look at it. They want to see it before they walk in. So I think
Yeah.
it's really important, even in any aspect of healthcare, any aspect of really any business at this point, is to have some level of social media presence. As far
Yeah.
as hearing, we have so much we can teach. I mean, I personally put earwax videos
A
because
lot of earwax videos.
I do a lot of that because people can't get enough of that, the
No, people love
satisfying
it.
stuff. Some of my videos have hit 100 million views, 30 million, 40 million, 50 million, 100 million. It's crazy. I mean, you can't even pay for that kind of advertisement.
No.
Uh, my husband was like, I don't even think the Super Bowl gets advertising on the Super Bowl can get hundreds of millions of views, and you're getting it essentially for free. And I'm like, that's a good point.
And
If
then
you
you're
think
actually
about it.
getting paid for it too,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well,
Yeah.
I used to. Now, TikTok has changed where they have like TikTok shop and things like that, and I don't do that. And even though I
Yeah.
have almost 900,000 followers on that, I don't, I guess if you will, I don't take advantage of that. I just do it for more marketing of my practice.
And so you don't, but so you don't get paid just for people watching and
Not
viewing?
anymore.
Not
I
anymore.
used to. I used to get thousands of dollars just
Yes.
for having that many views. I would open up my thing and say it would say you have $3,000.
Yeah.
But since they made TikTok Shop, they're trying to encourage people to sell things on
Oh, and
TikTok.
I hate that too, because when I
Yeah,
go on there, every other video is somebody trying to sell me something from TikTok.
right, right. So I'm
Yeah.
honestly not into that. So I just
Oh,
have
yeah.
people taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
But I still obviously post because it's not about the money. It's just more about like again, just keeping your office relevant at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
So,
I had somebody fly in from Los Angeles to get earwax removal. And when I asked her, I'm used to people flying in from UK, from the Caribbean, from all over the
wow.
United States, but usually they're here to see family members, they're here on business, like they're making us part of their Houston
Right.
stop. So of course my natural question was to her, why are what are you here for? Are you here for work, to see family? And she was like, no, I'm here for earwax removal. I was like, right, but like what else are you here for?
Yeah.
She was like, no, I'm here for earwax removal, and she's like, yeah, I got a hotel across the street. I got a Uber. I'm flying back tomorrow. And I'm just like,
Yeah. That
this
is so
is
funny.
insane. Like, no offense to me, but this is insane that
Yeah.
somebody would do that, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, but you're the expert of earwax. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, but wow, okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So between Married with Medicine and your TikTok, you got pretty famous in the audiology world. There's not too many of us that are as famous as you are to the general population, right?
Yeah, I
So
mean, one
yeah,
can't deny I like attention. I'm just kidding.
yeah. But when like in talking to you, I feel like you're just a humble, lovely woman who's,
Thank you.
so I love that about you
Thank
too.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even I personally don't I am humble in the sense of like I don't think I'm better than anyone. I really don't, and I'm here to help anyone who needs it. And um, just because I have a pretty office or something like that doesn't make me better. Like I'm not tooting my own horn because then that's not humble of me, if you will. But I think personality wise, I'm just kind of some people do get surprised. They think I'm maybe expecting me to be stuck up. Um,
Right.
which I mean, I guess I'll take that as a compliment when they say I'm not.
Yeah, I know. I love my interactions with you. And you're so willing to share your
Likewise.
knowledge too, which is, really helpful.
Thank
So what
you.
would just be one tip that you would give somebody starting out that wants to grow their social media presence? And then we'll move on to what makes you up.
I would just say don't be afraid. Like do it. Just go
Yeah.
for it. Obviously we have waivers in place and again, anybody who wants a copy of what we have patients sign, reach out
Okay,
to me.
perfect. Yeah.
Um, but don't be afraid to ask. The worst they can say is no. Obviously, if somebody's in like okay, so we don't sit here and film most of our tinnitus patients because a lot of them are in crisis. So
Right.
being from the reality TV world, I've seen producers take advantage of like let's somebody's crying, somebody's in terror to
Right.
crisis. I'm not doing all that now. In the other end of it, I have seen it, and so I still want to take advantage. Like, oh, this ear's full of wax, or somebody had a really positive. Now, okay, they're on the other side of the tinnitus. So we do have some patients who came out on the other side, if you will, like from
Right.
catastrophic tinnitus to like just barely noticeable. So then I do ask the docs to ask them if they're comfortable at that point, if they're in a more comfortable state. And at this
Right.
point, I think everybody, like the audiologists that work with me, they know how to gauge who to ask something and who not to ask. But
Yeah.
the tip I have is don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Obviously, when it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And they can always just say no.
Worst thing they can
Um,
say is no.
Yeah, but you are a good example for all of us. So thank you for sharing
Thank
that. But
you.
now
Thank
let's
you.
move on to your office and inside your practice. I know last time when we were talking, you said that like you initially started out as a little office. It wasn't as fancy. I know one thing that your aesthetics are that's something really important to you. And every time I see pictures of your office or videos of your office, everything looks beautiful. You look beautiful, like you love beautiful surroundings.
Thank
And so
you.
tell us a little bit about how that mindset has like affected you and your growth of your office and all of that.
I just feel like if I think most people can agree with me, if you've ever walked into a plastic surgeon's office or even like a spa type place, it's like immediate calm. It's immediately like you can tell they put money into this office.
Right.
There's like, it's intentional. Every piece of furniture is intentional. Every light fixture is intentional. It's thought out. And to me, it's like, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Like this little thingy that holds these flowers, everything is like
Yeah.
maybe $50. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I'm just gonna get the one that maybe looks a little more designer for $50 instead of the one that looks more, cheap looking. Just like,
And also like, what am I trying to think? Like just business versus beauty or like
I
functional
don't want to have
versus,
I think, okay, you have to have commercial grade stuff in the sense of like, okay, certain weight rated furniture, like your
oh,
chair has to
right.
be able to withstand, let's say, 450 pounds. So that kind of stuff is important. This is why you get commercial grade stuff. To some degree, that's important. Well, to a
Right.
big degree, that's important. But I still want it to not look like, if you will, commercial furniture. I still want it to have that feel of a boutique, like you're walking to like a boutique hotel with a couch instead of like these like cold, sterile
Right.
chairs. And that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm still like looking at the weight rating. I'm still looking at the fabric to make sure we can clean it if something happens. All these things are so important to me, obviously. But like, I'm just like, how do I twist the same piece of furniture, the same table, the same light fixture, and just make it look a little more fabulous?
Yeah, no, yeah, you do have a knack for that. So let's talk a little bit about just your office in general. I know in our conversation the last time you were just talking about how, things are important to you and that best practices are important, the aesthetics, treating patients in a way that they feel valued and seen, treating your staff in a way where they feel valued and seen. And so let's just talk about like what have you done in your office that makes it a place that people want to work there and people want to go to see you?
I mean, first and foremost is your staff, is your team. I've been humbled. I have been humbled over the years. When I first started the expansion, which was about 7 years ago, before that, for the past 10 or 11 years prior to that, I was kind of on my own. And like a lot of audiology offices, very minimal staff, very minimal support. And I just was working from like 7:30 in the morning till 2 in the morning.
Oh, I remember you saying that you worked like extra, extra.
Yeah, I mean, I would make like my cutoff to call a patient, I think was at 8:30 at night.
My gosh.
So like I would stop seeing patients around like 6:45, 7 p.m. And then from 7 to like 8:30, I'd be making all the phone calls. And then from like 8:30 till 1 or 2 in the morning, I'd be doing all the everything, the notes, the admin, all of it. It was bad. And I did that for over a decade. And then there's
Wow.
just a point where like I hit 40 and I was like, yeah, this is not sustainable. Plus, I met my now husband, and he was like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you still at work? This is
I'm
crazy."
glad I'm glad you had somebody pull you back to
Yeah, yeah. He like literally was like, "This is not gonna work." So I was like, "Okay." So that's when I just started hiring and hiring and hiring some more and putting my money into that. And then
right.
through that experience, at first it was like a lot of micromanaging. I mean, because I was just taking on a big team for the first time, which naturally I am, alpha type, and I do tend to micromanage anyway. And to this day, I still do, but I do it very differently than when I first started out. And that, like I said, I've been humbled with losing some staff for
Right.
probably the way I behaved, and that humbled me. And so like I now really, I mean, everybody can say they value your staff, but put your money where your mouth is. You
Right.
value your staff, you're going to pay them more, you're going to give them raises, you're going to be kind to them, as much as you can. Sometimes like,
Right.
sometimes situations happen and when I hire anybody, part of my interview is like, do you have thick skin? Because sometimes I'm just going to walk into a room and be like, bah, 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 and I'm not going to be like sugarcoating it, and my voice doesn't go high in octave. I'm not like, hey guys. I'm just not like that. Like you can just see the way
Right.
I talk. This is just the way I act.
Right.
Not sometimes it comes off as abrasive, and to someone who might be sensitive, they might take it personally. And so that's why, like, even down to like the interview, I'm like, I'm just letting you know this is how I am, and you have to be okay with that. Otherwise, you're not going to be happy working here.
Well,
Now,
that's good that you tell them up front instead of them walking into a situation where they think it's going to be one way and it's
yeah,
not, you
everything's up
know?
front. But I also say, like, I'm going to be very kind. I'm going to be very generous. I'm going to not be disrespectful. I'm just not, I don't sugarcoat things, but I'm not
Right.
disrespectful either. And like every year, nobody has to ask me for a raise. I'm going to give them a raise. I know when their anniversary is here and we're going to do the best we can. And then, like I've had people hit 5 years with me, and we've gotten a little extra on some of the gifts that you get if you make it to 5 years here.
Yeah.
So, to me that's exciting and I want to do that. I have a big Christmas dinner every year. Like I put a lot of money towards that, something that maybe not everybody would indulge on, that kind of a dinner.
Yeah.
I want to make sure we treat everybody. So yeah, that kind of stuff is important to me because I think once you take care of your staff, your team, that is in a way bought me my freedom. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To
Oh,
me,
for
I'm
sure.
thankful for my freedom. I don't have to be here every day if I don't want to be. I don't have to see patients if I don't, I choose not
Yeah.
to because I have everybody else doing everything. So for me, that's very important that since I have that, I can trust them because I've built such a good team to basically that's the payback that I do, like with kindness, with money, like money,
Right.
and time, like extra PTO now, things like that. Um, so that kind of stuff is important. Um,
And then just talk a little bit about your office. You were saying that you have, like, you just moved into a bigger office and you have or a different office or you redesigned it or,
yeah, so
and
I
yeah.
moved into this bigger suite 7 years ago, and then a few months ago, we added another 1,000 square feet. So I think we're up to like maybe 4,000 square feet. We had our
Wow.
pediatric wing, so now we see 6 months and up. So that's exciting. And then so now we're able to take on more and we deal with like positional vertigo, that kind of stuff, besides all the other tinnitus, the heavy tinnitus clinic that we are, and obviously all the earwax that we do and all the other normal audiology stuff. But for me, like the team being, to go back to your other question, the team being taken care of, it just oozes out in them that they are happy and like it shows because they're so kind to the patients. They
I
take so
love
much
that.
care and they're so caring and like I can't even describe. Sometimes I'm just like listening to them and I'm just like, I can't even believe these people. I can't believe this is real. Like it's almost so nice. They're almost fake, but they're not fake. Like
Right.
that's how nice they are in real life, like for real. And I'm just like, I'm so blessed. I'm so lucky. I'm so thankful because they're so kind. And when the patient's sad, they're sad. They're all crying. When somebody passes away, they're all, it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah. So I feel like it's finally like come together. But it was not the easiest road to get here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you just really worked really hard. And the fact that you were willing to get to the point where you are now, like let go a little bit and be able to enjoy your life. I'm glad to see that because not a lot of people that are like to control things can ever get there. So
I never thought
congrats to
I thought
you
I
on
would see
that.
patients till I was 80 years old. I'm not joking you. In
Oh
my
my
mind, I
God.
was like, I'll see patients till the day I die.
Yeah.
And
But thanks to your husband too, who saw it, he knew that he wasn't
yeah,
going to let that
it was
happen.
really honestly, I'll give him a lot of the credit because I just didn't see it. He was like, "What is your purpose for this? Do you want to sell this clinic? Do you want to be part of it, like see patients?" And I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "You have to know. You have to
Right.
have some kind of vision." I was like, so he made me like we have these like conversations to like try to figure it out. And I was like, "Well, I don't want to sell it anytime in the near future. That's not my this is like my baby. This was literally my first baby, my puppy being my second baby, and
Yeah.
me at the age of 43 having a baby as my actual baby, being my third baby. So really, this is my first baby,
Yeah.
So it was very important to me that this is part of my life, like for as long as possible. It's very
Yeah.
important to me.
Oh, and let me add that for those of you who are getting older and thinking you can't have a baby, Ellie had her baby when she was 43, naturally. And
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, so I always thought she was a lot younger because of that, but and
Thank you. Thank
because she
you.
looks amazing. But all right. Is there anything else that you want to add before we move on to the rapid fire? Oh, I know. You were talking about
Sound
the
Cafe?
specialty rooms you have,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah,
afford
so
the
for like okay, I remember for a long time, like so many patients, and I'm sure if it happened to me this many times, it's happened to other audiologists where a patient leaves your office and like, well, everything was fine when I was in your clinic, but when I go home or when I go to my church or when I go to a restaurant, whatever, fill in the blank. When I left your quiet office, everything's gone
yes.
to poop. And so I remember just being like, one day when I have a bigger suite, I'm going to design a room that's like a fake restaurant. So I did that.
Love that.
And in fact, with the expansion that we just did a few months ago, I have now two of these rooms where it's basically we call it a sound cafe, but it's six sound sources, TVs. There's a couple of Alexas, then there's a couple of Bluetooth speakers. And one of them will play music, another one will just be like a TV podcast in the background, another one will be playing another music, another one will be playing like dishes clanking and like background restaurant noise. And when
Oh, I
you put
love
them all
that.
on at the same time, it is an incredibly difficult restaurant. It's like a very loud, noisy restaurant. And
Right,
so in that room can be used for, those patients that are on the fence that are like, I'm fine. I'm not hearing difficult. I have no difficulties. Like, let's say those are the ones with the normal low frequency hearing that have the high frequency drop that feel like they're doing fine in a quiet room, obviously. So then,
right.
on with those patients, I'm like straight to the sound cafe, straight to that sound cafe. And we do a demo in there and like we'll put the demo aids on them. We'll even have the app connected and I'll mute it and I'll talk to them, with and without the aids on in all this noise and they're shocked. I mean, we literally have a box of
Love it.
tissues ready for tears. I'm not even kidding you. It's worked. It's just
Yeah,
people finally like get a real idea of how it is. And then it's also good for adjustments. If we have adjustment programming stuff in there. So if you want to make it real time adjustments, if you will, like in a noisy environment, you can.
yeah,
Um,
that's really nice that you
it's
have.
just so helpful. I cannot tell y'all enough how helpful it is. If you have even a little bit of space to do this, don't just do
Yeah,
what I did, which I mean, maybe some people just turn on their one computer and two speakers. Try to like at least get like just get online, get a couple of Bluetooth speakers, add some noise,
right,
make it surround, or you know what, get a couple of Alexas, just something to make it more surround, even if you don't have the space for its own actual room. It's a
right.
multifunctional room. In that same room, we do our irrigations, we do, other procedures in there too. But, you know,
Yeah,
it's been very helpful and I'm very glad that
wonderful.
we did it.
Oh, that's such a great idea. Ellie, thank you so much for everything that you shared with us today. I
Thank
wish
you
I
for
had a
having
bigger
me.
office, but even the fact that you said that you could have a smaller office and still do it, I'm going to plant that in my head. Moving on, let's get to our rapid fire
Okay.
questions. All right, so let's ask you this. What is one word that describes you and why?
Extra.
Extra.
Enough said.
Enthusiastic too, I think.
Yeah.
What is a skill you would love to master overnight?
Cooking from scratch.
Mm,
I,
cooking.
I I see these videos and I save every single one of them and
Yeah.
I haven't done one of them yet.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to start cooking next
Yeah,
week.
I'm gonna make sourdough. I'm gonna make fire. Butter doesn't
Yeah.
seem that hard though. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
buy cream and do it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Get back
There's,
to
you're going to go. So you'll report back to me.
you.
What's one thing you would tell your younger self?
Save and invest instead of Gucci. So
Ah,
that you can have your own office building instead of spending lots of money on rent.
that's a good advice.
Oh, and work out consistently.
Yeah. And what do you see here in healthcare in 10 years?
Shaken up, but still okay.
And what is a coffee order that keeps you going? Black coffee. And do you drink a lot of it?
All day, every day.
All day. Oh my gosh. And maybe that's why you're extra, right?
Yeah. I'm up till 2 in the morning. I thought it was
Yeah.
some kind of natural energy. My sister's like, why don't you try going a few days without drinking as much coffee? And I was like passed out by 10 o'clock. And I'm like, well, here's that natural energy I was so proud
Yeah,
of.
you
Whoops.
thought you had. What's one thing you would say to somebody just starting out?
I would say get a good mentor.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Important. I think they could be very helpful.
Yeah. And what's one piece of wisdom you would pass along to the next generation of women in hearing healthcare?
I would say, diversify your work portfolio, learn a lot, be open-minded. Sometimes we just have a tendency
Yeah.
to have a one-track mind. Just be more
Yeah.
open-minded, especially with the way things are changing.
Yeah. You have to be willing to pivot, adapt,
Pivot.
change. Yeah. And then what is a sound that makes you happy?
My daughter saying mama.
Aw, it's the best sound.
It is a good sound.
Yeah. And what is one thing our profession could do better?
Stick together. I think
Yes,
can
work
be very
together.
divisive, so
Yeah. Yeah.
stick together better.
And what might be one thing about you that most people might not know?
I think, as authentic as they come. You'll know that once you meet me. So I don't know. But
Yeah.
I guess another one is
You're approachable, even though people may
yeah.
not realize that. And I see
And
that in you. Yeah.
second tidbit I would say is English is my second language.
Oh, you never know.
Yeah, I was in five. I think it was 5 or 6, almost 6 when I learned English.
Wow. Nice. And last but not least, I'm all about the B's. So which B fits you best? Be kind, be brave, be curious, be bold, or be happy?
Happy.
Be happy. I can see that you're happy, but you worked hard for it. So, Ellie, thank you so much for coming back
Thank
to
you for
this
having
conversation.
me.
We miss Lindsay, but we did
Yes, we miss
it.
Lindsay. That's so cool about her dad.
Yeah, I'm really hoping
Productive.
he becomes mayor.
That's
There's
so
so
cool.
yeah, there's so much here that you shared with us. I know that you said before you're willing for people to reach out to you. So we'll put your
Absolutely.
email address. Is that the best way to reach you?
Yeah, if you on socials, I'm Dr. Elly. Doctor is spelled out Doctor
Okay.
and Ellly.
Okay.
Um, and then my email. Do you want me to give my email?
Yeah,
Or you
so
have
I you can say it and then I'll also put it below.
info@memorialhearing.com. I
Yeah.
check all of that.
Okay, perfect. So thank you so much for sharing your story, and thank you to everyone for listening to another episode of the Sound Sisters, the Hearing Diaries. If you enjoyed
Okay.
today's episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a colleague, and keep this conversation going. Until next time, be curious, stay connected, and keep listening. Thanks all. Have a great day.
Lily.
Hit a stop, pause, stop, stop recording.